my right is Kevin Murphy. Kevin Murphy is the Director of Digital Strategy from CMD.
I'm the Director of Digital Strategy. Feel free to tell me what that means later. CMD is a mid-sized integrated marketing agency, and we say integrated marketing agency because there's still about 5% of our work that's not digital. I personally specialize in working with our clients to create social systems to manage their social media and integrate all of the different digital touch points across the same story. So really try to create seamless experiences, seamless experiences across things like video, traditional web, microsites, contest platforms, social media platforms, and offline experiences. I think the main area is you're starting to see a lot more specialization and focus, and diverging, which I think is really a good thing, diverging what I'd call community management from social marketing. And they're becoming very different things there. And you're seeing more specialization, social commerce, social promotion, and social advertising. And the growth of the industry has really created those niches. Usually try to get them to connect the measurement and what they're focused on for return on investment onto a pre-existing business goal. So how can you tie what you're doing to something that they're already measured on, and sort of throw out this idea of tweet reach and how many fans and stuff, because it's very, very difficult to map that directly to something that the CEO cares about and the CFO cares about. So finding ways to go with the more traditional. What are you doing in terms of like lead generation? What are you doing in terms of capture? Or another trick I found is a lot of times the web marketing departments, which sometimes is also us, but have established KPIs around the value of a visitor or a certain engagement on the site, and actually leveraging that information and work that's already been done and applying it to social. But steer away from we went down the path about a year ago working with a liquor brand where we actually tried to put dollar values on, how much is a like worth, how much is a fan worth. And what we found is you can't put a single value because every like and every fan and every retweet.
A fan is worth $172.80. I think there's a report about it last month.
But the value of each fan, like Facebook, you might, I'm going to have to use the word engagement.
Oh man, take a shot.
The level of engagement of every fan is different, and 3/4 of your fan are never going to see your post. So it's really about how you can measure differently there. So one of the things that we did instead is we took the idea of what Scott just talked about, of campaigns that are specifically measurable against business goals, like putting a campaign in a certain market and seeing what kind of impact that had on retail sales. And then from there, taking that data and projecting it against the broader audience.
I think it's interesting when people look at social media and they think it's this free tool. First of all, it's free, right? And then the other thing is they think they don't have to do the same things they would traditionally have to do with marketing. Have you run into that a lot?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think our clients have matured enough that they understand that it's different. What I see though is they're still operating social independently. So you go to a big, the CMO is reporting to the CEO about all of the marketing data, and you see, all of this stuff integrated into a single report, and then social media is sort of off to the side. And one of the things that we're trying to do is really work on helping our clients understand not just the impact of social media as a standalone, but its impact into the greater marketing mix. And so doing things like helping clients understand, well, if this person is on social media and they're also getting 3 newsletters a month, well, that's going to have an exponential impact on their activity and hopefully on their sales. I think that a couple of interesting things, and I don't have the actual reference in front of me, but I remember a stat around, and correct me if anybody knows this, somewhere around 80% of consumer electronic purchases, people check Amazon reviews first. I don't know how well that extends to other products. The other thing that's interesting is a study that Bing sponsored, Microsoft sponsored back in November, showed that there are really two different types of products, and people behaved very, very differently when they were evaluating them online. There's the product where you've got a long buying cycle, very evaluative. And those people actually don't really shop socially for those as much as we think they would. Instead, they're going to an average of 4.1 websites before they make the decision, and it's a lot of those rating sites. And then what they do socially is they show their friends what they bought. Whereas something that's a critical, I need it now, it's solving a problem, 78% of the time, they go to their friends first, either socially or through word of mouth, to try to solve it, and they don't do all of those websites. So what you're seeing is sort of these two different product sort of categories where sometimes you'd think people would shop more socially, or I would assume people would shop more socially for those items that they're considering over time, but the opposite is true. They want their friends' opinions for those emergency, I need it now kind of things. With a lot of brands, you have to have good content, or you're just incentivizing with crappy contests and discounts to try to keep your fan numbers up.
Does that work?
Depends on how you're measured. If you're measured against just keeping fans engaged, yeah, I think those people have a very, very low value proposition, though. Good content is what keeps them coming back, and that's we talked a little bit about I talked a little bit about how there's starting to be micro focuses in areas of social media, and I think content creation is one of them. One of the things about social is, yes, discussions and memes will start there, but more often or not, it's a piece of content that they're centered around and driving. So you need those good pieces of content to attract, to draw, and to re-engage.